So right now we're going to be looking at something really special today. The main focus or the main idea is really more about putting it down on paper and not just the other of the section. I just trust that you'll be able to have idea and insight. So focusing on starting your 2021 right, and starting your 2021 right, there's a lot of things. Sometimes I could say, okay, it's more like you have to bring it up as a topic in a sense or in a way. The idea and foundation is really to help you get started and get solid. So for me personally, this series is more about business bootcamp for digital entrepreneurs. Digital entrepreneurs is like, okay, because we're having more people who are not having box offices, like full brick and mortar offices anymore. And people are coming on and on to be able to sell products online, to be able to start their own shop online, whatever services that they are bringing to the table. Okay, so wherever you are, but you want to leverage digital media as part of what you're doing, like you're coming to that space, it's essential for you to understand the dynamics. And I'm going to start with a story, some kind of story that will help you so that you understand where I'm coming from. I have a friend, and my friend, he said something with me yesterday, and one of the things that he said was that, Steve, I know there are different parts and pieces. I know I can do these things, but I find it very difficult to really understand the step-by-step process to get things done, to really articulate. And here's what I told him. I told him that, do you know one particular things about the consultants that we pay about $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million to come and consult for organizations? Do you know one particular thing? He said, no. I said, questions. The idea about whatever success that you want to achieve is tied into questions. And I'm going to explain. The foundation is that if you ask yourself the right kind of questions, like everything is tied to questions. So if you ask the right kind of questions, you'll find the right answer. So the challenge as to what we are facing is because we will not ask the right questions. Even if it's for yourself. Like I've worked before and I said, Steve, I am stuck right now. I think I can figure out what the next step would be, but I told myself within myself, and I said that if I can ask the right questions in sequential order, I'll be able to find answers. And that's exactly what you pay these consultants for, okay? The foundation is that they understand the right kind of questions. You bring them into facilitated session and they are asking the right kind of questions in the right order, and you're able to get the results that you're looking for. I remember when I was trying to share it with one of my consulting that I did. And it was very simple because I was aware of some certain knowledge, okay? Because I started business a little bit backwards. Like, I don't know, I would just say, okay, we started business from middle to the end, and then we came back to the beginning to have the process right, okay? So the foundation is that the dream that you want to achieve, or whatever you want to achieve, if you have the right kind of questions, or if someone pushes your intuition or causes you to think in a particular direction, the right direction, or the right thought to be instigated, you'll find the answers that you're looking for. So today's session is really going to be about business bootcamp. We're doing a business bootcamp for digital entrepreneurs. Okay, so like I've told you about who is it for. You are selling anything, you want to go online, you want to do business. But mostly, if I were to talk about categories of people, this is the general online kind of people. But if I were to talk about the specific category of people, I would say if you're a solopreneur, okay, and you also have your own business, so you're a small business, definitely could benefit from this if you're looking to get started. And you're also a network marketer, and maybe as well, you might come into affiliate marketing. Okay, this is for you. Now, the idea is foundationally for you to be able to do more. But I want to categorize the lessons that we're going to share without rushing too fast, because each and every one of it has a process. Is from getting you from the idea of positioning, redefining your business. Okay, we're going to talk about redefining your business, and when we talk about redefining your business, the next step or next part of the piece would be to solidify your processes, knowing and setting up systems. Okay, but the foundation is more about redefining your business. Okay, for stronger positioning. Now, when we talk about positioning, if someone should mention maybe your industry, maybe your clothing, you say okay, clothing brand. If someone should mention clothing brand, will they mention you? Now, the idea is that you're thinking that it's hard. It's hard to become maybe a leading market authority and stuff like that. No. I thought that way before, but I'm not thinking that way anymore. Now, some people say success leads to exactly. So, what if I have the mind frame of, or the mindset is say, yes, they pay for consulting and everything. What if I had that mindset? Would I fail? Now, let me tell you something. With the mindset that you have, it's possible for you to replicate success over a short period of time. In other words, you can start a business and in 6 months, it doesn't have to be, and in 6 months, your business is running like an independent system, and then you can move from there to another one. I'm telling you, depending on what you want to manage. And some people get so emotional and say, okay, this is my baby, this is my baby. But they are able to say this is my baby because the business is actually successful. Alright? So that's the foundation. So we're coming from the standpoint of helping your business to position more effectively. So if you're talking about what you're going to gain, I've talked about people. Now, if you're talking about what you're going to gain from these lessons, we're going to talk about redefining your business, but more from the standpoint of positioning. Okay, positioning, because where you are cannot get you to where you want to be, so you need to retweak a lot of things. And then we're going to look at process implementation, understanding your business and how to set up systems. Okay, so you want to redefine it, and then you're going to understand the knowing and setting up systems and processes. So we're talking about process implementation. Some of you really go about your business, but most of you don't really understand the processes that are involved in your business. You cannot, and that's not how to scale. That's not how to scale. So I would say that the final line for this thing is about scaling your business, but you can't scale your business if you've not gotten 1 or 2 or 3. And guess what? You're doing it through technology. So one thing, a wise man told me that one thing technology has done, like, is neutral. Okay, one thing that technology has done in our day and time is that technology makes things fast. So if you do the wrong things, technology is going to make you fail faster. If you do the right thing, technology is going to make you succeed faster. So that's the foundation. The foundation is to get you to scale and get you to really own business, because it's a business bootcamp, right? You have an idea and you've been able to do something to generate income, but you are not satisfied. You want more. You want to be able to know how to better structure your business, which I'm talking about positioning, better have defined process and systems so that everything works in uniform. So if you approach your business from a system perspective, understanding that it's a system perspective, you will get to understand how your system works, in the sense that you would be able to become more productive and efficient. Okay, some of you have desires and you say, okay, I won't be able to hire 5 staffs. Some of you started, you're just putting, but someone should ask you on a survey, how many staffs do you have? Because the category is usually 1 to 5, 5 to 10 and stuff like that. So you put 1 to 5, but you know that all the business starts with you and with you. But the idea is that you have not been aware as to people management, process management, system management, and things like that. So generally, you are not aware. Let's talk about that, because we're talking from the standpoint of enlightenment. You're not aware. If you're aware, you'll be able to get to it. Are you getting me? You'll be able to get to it. You'll be able to know what to do per time. So the most important thing is the enlightenment. And this alignment comes through knowledge. So if I gave you, say, the information that Coca-Cola is using to scale their business, would you appreciate it? Would that be valuable information? But guess what? Coca-Cola didn't just wake up to own that information. That information has been around for thousands of years. It's just been added and remodified to suit our day and time. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you. And that's why I'm balancing it, because our day and time, we're having more rise in digital entrepreneurs. In fact, everybody's leveraging digital to know what they are supposed to do. So mostly in the rise, there's some people that don't really have brick and mortar. All they do is get on the internet and do a lot of things. And that's exactly what I want to share with you. That whatever you're doing or whatever interest that you are into, because this is not really a foundation as to defining the skill, defining the interest and stuff like that. This is just really a foundation as to helping you to effectively reorganize your system and then move towards scaling. Okay, so that's really the foundation. So we're talking about process implementation, that if you understand your business as a system, it's possible for you to scale. Because say you had maybe a real system. I want you to understand, maybe you have a real system right now. I'm going to sketch it for you in the context of the PDF or the video that I might be bringing up. Okay, so I'm going to sketch it for you. But say you had a system and it's working, and one side you had input and the other side you had output. Now, if in an ideal system, one input generates two output, so you know that by the time you now put like maybe two inputs, it's going to generate what? Four output. So the foundation is understanding your business as that system, so that you know what to get. And if you're not getting what you're looking for, you know that there are, maybe you have passed, I would call that in economics. There is that place that you reach, they call it diminishing return, whereby it gets to that point where adding more successive input would not generate, it will either cause a diminishing in the productivity that you're supposed to get. But the foundation is, it gets you to that point where you are running an efficient system. Now, for a small business, usually, for example, the workforce, research I've just had it that an average of 8 to 12 to 15 persons in your organization should be available. You should be managing 8 to 12 to 15 persons. Other than that, it's going to be a corporation. You're going to be running a corporation. But for a business, you're supposed to have at least minimum within the range of 8 to 15 staffs, okay, within your organization, people that are helping you manage some process. If not, you're going to be transitioning to a corporation, okay? Corporation where you're now having middle management staff and all those kind of things. And as it is right now, small businesses have the potential to scale more than systems that have middle management corporation. Middle management corporation, they don't have time for innovation, but then they have time for growth. But I'm talking about speeding, scaling, because the middleman corporation can be able to stay in a particular stereotype thing for maybe 2 years, 3 years, 15 years, and the likes. And they might not be thinking of doing so much. They might just do it because it's a process, and then they start to build brands and stuff like that. But you see, consumer needs and consumer behavior changes. All right? Consumer needs and consumer behavior changes. So that's really, really, really what we're trying to do. The idea is like, I'm just trying to share the foundation first. And once I share the foundation, the second thing is to now bring you into how to go about all these things. So I was talking about system and then scaling. Now, the idea of scaling is in two phases, which I'm going to address. And we're going to be talking about delegation, effective delegation. Delegation in the sense that I told my friend that the second thing in regards to scaling your business is that when you're starting your business and you're trying to generate profit, is that you try as a small business, because those are the people I said solopreneur, small businesses. So small business can be 1 to 2 persons, because it can be a joint venture or together. But you guys know that you have really limited resources. You don't really have so much to spend. You have stuff like that. So one of the things that can help you scale or grow faster is delegation. Delegation in the sense that you're actually allocating time, energy, and resources rightly, all right, proportionally across whatever is supposed to be done. I don't want to talk about a lot of project management themes and okay, this is the day. No, this is not about really tasking your mind that wide. The idea is just understand the basis and the foundation. Then if you can implement it strong on this one, that's not the important. If you have the money, the business generating, say, roughly revenue of 10x what you are generating right now. Tell me, can you not at least try as much as possible to hire one key staff? Of course, you can. So the idea really is not about all those things. And then you can hire a project manager. So the idea is really not about making it look so ambiguous, and I don't know, pterodactyl, stuff like that. But the foundation is really showing you how it is done. So delegation. So you have to delegate either to the right people. And where I was coming from was from that, my friend, where I told him that you would learn the whole system, manage your whole process. And then at the end, anyone that you know that is 20% return, that's you getting yourself really, just like any checking your mails, okay, doesn't really have a significant impact in what you're doing or in moving your, it's not inside the 20% tax that yields 80% result. What you can do is that you can now delegate such tasks. Are you hearing me? You can now delegate such tasks, and that's how it is. So I'm bringing you into the knowledge of scaling, where you have to delegate effectively. And in delegating those systems, that's how you bring in the staff. You understand who you're bringing in to manage from where. Okay? So we're going to be looking into those scaling programs. And then finally, we're going to be looking at collective partnerships. Okay? Some of us are really leaving money on the table because we're not partnering with other organizations, other systems that are doing what we do. So the idea would be for you to be able to identify what kind of partnerships are going to be adding to you, okay? What kind of partnerships are going to be adding to your business and all those kind of things. So if you don't think it, like I said, one of the things that a consultant will do, or a coach or a counselor, is to ask you questions in successive terms so that you can be able to think. If you can collaborate, it's possible for you to have someone, maybe collaboration, it's only for you to have maybe a steady customer that buys from you at a particular rate, or is also collaborating with your brand, which in turn increases your economy or your business economy as well. So that's really the foundation of what we are looking into. So all those collective partnerships. For example, I usually have this app on my phone, Zenda. Okay, if you notice, when Zenda was starting, you literally had to go download Zenda from Play Store. But nowadays, Zenda nowadays is readily available in just about any new mobile that you're buying. That is what we call collective partnerships. Okay, somehow I think when these guys invented the digital watch, okay, maybe digital time, put it that way, they took it to Switch watches, and Switch didn't buy into it. The other brands that bought into it, I think they're the ones that are scaling now. So those things are what we talk about collective partnerships, where you take an idea and you build it, you factor into all the systems that allows room for you to scale. So there are different opportunities. Maybe if you're a shoemaker, you look at collective partnerships from who can I reach out to that can help provide maybe raw materials at an affordable price, and you guarantee the person that I'm going to be coming in to buy. So how to strike those collective partnership deal, and then at the end of it, we're going to look at process evaluation. So how to evaluate, take stock, take goals, understand how you're making progress, and then you retweak to innovate, to redefine, and to replenish. So that's really the foundation as to what this thing I'm going to show you. So it's going to be interesting. I don't want you to bore your mind, but the idea is that I'm going to be taking you through scaling. But if you don't understand the process that involves, so that you take it one step at a time, you will not really make significant progress. You will always be starting and stopping. So this is it. I'm telling you that if it's possible for you to skip it, I would have made it possible for you to skip. But you see, already you're not making the results that you want. So I think that's really a challenge, and that should cause you to think. But there are different processes. But look, I'm going to simplify this thing into 3 steps. So like I said, redefining your business and positioning. We talked about process implementation. Sometimes people say process hacking, and how to know your business and setting up systems in your business, setting up systems and mastering those processes. So they are very, very simple. In each of these themes and headings, just 3-step sub-processes, 3-step sub-processes, and you are done. So that's the foundation of what we are going to be looking at. So without any further ado, let's get started.